Hello, everybody. So, I want to do a live stream and really discuss the car accident I was in as a passenger. I want other people's perspective. Like, let me know, have you ever been the passenger of a car accident, whether the person that was driving was at fault or not at fault, where nobody asked you really any questions, and the one time that you tried to answer the question about what happened, somebody started screaming at you, who was driving? Who was driving? Um, and I don't understand because I don't even think there was a question of at fault based on state law. But nobody really even asked me if I was okay until after the first responders arrived. And then when the other person in the accident walks over and sits on the gurney to get popped up into the back of the ambulance, he made a statement, something about he didn't think he'd have to go through this to get something done. I don't want to misquote. And first responders and EMTs were taking pictures with their personal phones of the guy on the gurney in the back of the ambulance before they closed the doors and it took off. And I go to looking and checking, and I'm still trying to find out if it was one or both, but seems that he's ex-officer for either the county or the city or both. And I just, it's not the first wreck I've ever been a passenger in, but it's the first one where nobody asked me any questions. Like, I answered more questions about the wreck that I walked on my front porch and saw to the insurance company than I answered to anybody. And the guy's truck was put on a rollback and towed off after they cranked it up and drove it around. And saw that they didn't even need a wrecker. I'm very confused and quite sore and achy and a little disoriented. But anybody, please let me know in the comments if I'm maybe taking things wrong or something. I don't know. I'm still a little shell-shocked, I guess is a good word. I just don't understand why, when I never, for once in my life, I wasn't videotaping. I didn't open my mouth and kept my mouth shut and just kind of was sitting there because I was in shock because of how things happened so fast and not even seeing it coming. I wasn't braced. I didn't understand until boom. It took me a minute to even realize what had occurred. And I felt so disrespected by the one person who told me that they worked for the rescue squad. It's called React, I think. I thought he was taking the report because he took my ID and scanned it and started asking me about the accident. And after I said like 4 or 5 words, he started hollering at me about who the driver was and what the law was and how when he used to do accident reports it was cut and dry, and walked away. And then went over there and talked to the other driver of the other car that was standing out near the driver of my car. And whatever he said to the other driver says, that lady sitting over there in that car just said, I was driving and I did this. And I never uttered anything about the other driver except to ask if they were okay. I'm just so confused. And then when the driver or the person that had gotten out of the, I don't exactly know what happened, the other injured party, let's put it that way, I guess, to the accident, the other owner of the other vehicle involved in the accident, left by ambulance. And to see first responders and personnel there just congregating around him, and he looked to be mid 40s to early 50s at oldest, and my driver was over 80. Nobody was around him asking if he was physically okay or anything. There was no blood. I didn't see any bruising, and I'm hoping that everybody's okay. I'm not even saying that. It was just weird, and I wish for once in my life I would have pulled out my camera and been videotaping. But the oddest, weirdest part to me was they didn't want my statement. They took another person that was standing in the parking lot statement. I didn't know them. They knew the other person in the vehicle by name. I'm a lot confused because honestly, it was a private parking lot of a store, and I feel that's important to state because in previous accidents, like Walmart parking lot, the one where a box truck hit my car in the parking lot of a little convenience store, smaller than the parking lot where we were at. I even had police tell me they wouldn't issue tickets and they would just write an incident report because they don't police private parking lots. And we're in the same county, same area, same laws governing. Maybe I'm addled. Maybe I was confused. But I wasn't driving the vehicle. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. There's a good camera system where we were at to be accessed. And I think I even said that to the officer, like, I'm not even sure what I went on. I'm a little addled. But I know they got a good camera system, so whatever happened will be recorded there. I mean, that was pretty much my mentality, is everybody okay? I really hadn't even got out of the vehicle. I kind of been in shock. Nobody asked me if I needed help or assistance, really. That one time was it from that one guy. And like I said, he asked me and I started trying to answer, and he started hollering at me and over-talking me. And because he was in law enforcement, I talked to the police officer on the scene. I apologized and said, hey, I'm sorry if something I said sounded rude or disrespectful. I'm a little in shock and addled, and shook. I'm not sure I even fully am comprehending what I was going on at the moment. And he just acted really rude and disgusted. I don't have more of a criminal record than I've ever had. Hadn't had really contact with police as being a criminal of any sort for well over 15 years or longer. I don't, I don't, I've never been on the scene of an accident, whether it's a witness, a participant, a driver, a passenger, and seen persons that weren't argumentative, that weren't arguing about what happened, that had all correct paperwork and insurance and registration and license and all that stuff, talked to and treated that way. It bothers me, and I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not thinking clearly. I want y'all's opinion, if you don't mind. Please, down in the comment section. Peace, love, and light. I will see you for a live stream sometime probably after 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all.